Hey guys, it's Mandy Gatlin with Be Passionate and Prosper, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about my top 5 things that I look for when I am getting into a rental property. Right now, as you guys know, if you've been watching our videos, we are currently transferring this house into a rental property, the one that we purchased about 3 years ago. We are currently turning it into a rental property. And I just wanted to share with you guys, just take a moment today to share with you guys the 5 things that I look for in a rental property. I have done this with other rental properties and have had rental properties in other states. And I've learned the hard way. There are things that you go through when you are purchasing homes and then turning them into rental properties. There are things that you learned as you do this, that you learn it and then you go, okay, I will never do that again. So I'm just gonna stick with the things that I look for in a rental property. There are also things that I look for in a tenant that I can share with you guys as well. But with this particular vlog, I just want to share what I look for in a rental property, in particular because we are possibly, this is new news too, we may be possibly moving. We don't know yet. We're kind of, it's all in the works right now, but we might be moving fairly soon. We're waiting to see. But that might be the next step might be for us wherever we are moving. We may be leveraging this home so that we can get into another home and buy it and work on it and turn it into a potential rental property as well. So right now we're waiting to see. This news might be in the next month or two. We're not sure yet. So we're still in the works with that, but we definitely know that this one, the moment we purchased it, we knew that it would be a great rental property. And so those are what I want to do is share with you guys why this would be a great rental property. So the first thing that I always look for is the location, and that might be something you always hear in real estate. It's all about location. But more specifically with this, what I recommend you do is you go on Zillow or you go on Redfin. These are companies online, or you can use the apps on your phone. You want to go on their site. You want to go into the city you're interested in, and then you want to look for houses either to buy first and then houses to rent. You want to do both. Because when you're looking for the house to buy, what you want to look for is, are there a ton of homes for sale in that area? That could be a red flag that something's going on in the market there. Okay, so for example, when I went to purchase in Arizona, I was going to look to buy in Phoenix, and there are a ton of homes. I mean, when I went to look, there were a ton of homes for sale there. Now, that may not necessarily indicate it's a bad thing or a good thing, but it's just something to note. If there's a ton of homes, then that could mean that the market is being flooded with lots of houses for sale. So it could be that that particular market is kind of in a downturn. And then the next thing you want to look for is in the same kind of category is how many houses are they're renting. And you can also just use the filters on those sites to look and see. And if there are a ton of homes for rent, then I would not recommend. That would be my immediate pull out from that area, because you're going to be competing with all these other people who are trying to rent. So you want to look first. That's the very first thing that you want to look. Do a little bit of research. Go into the different cities and see if there are a lot of homes for rent, and if there are, then don't go there. You know, I almost got into a deal. I actually had put money down, thousands of dollars, on 2 homes in Arizona. And then I decided I'm going to go physically to the area. I mean, I had bought these sight unseen as a deal, and I went there, and there were just almost every house on the street was for rent or for sale. And I was like, oh no, this is not good. I mean, I would have been competing with all these other people who were also in desperate need of renters. So you can see that that would be the very first thing that you would want to check into before you put any money down. So I had lost that money. I actually got half the money back, but I lost money because I put money down. So that's something that I want to help you guys avoid. So the second thing that I would look for, kind of now what we do is zero in a little bit more. Once you figure out that that area is good, the next thing I would look for is the sites around the area. And you want to look for very specific things, okay? These things that I have found are top factors in not only being able to rent your property, but also seeing that the property appreciates in value over time. One of the things would be, is it near schools or colleges? Colleges are a great, definitely a great way to be able to rent your place, not only to parents coming to visit, but to college students, to families that might be, you know, starting out, that are newer, that might still be going to school, that need a place to rent. So colleges are definitely one thing that I look for. Also, the school districts. Is it a desirable school district? Is it a district that parents are fighting to get their kids into? Right now, this house that we're about to rent is in the Claremont school district, and there are only 2 other homes for rent in this entire city. And so you better bet that I can put this home on the market, and I am going to get a renter probably within a month, and I'm going to be able to command a price that's fairly high. And the Claremont School District is a highly desirable school district. Parents move sometimes. They'll have a home in another city that's like 40 minutes away. They will rent their home and come and rent and live in a home in Claremont just to get their kid in a school here. So that's the kind of thing you want to look for, is that desire, you know, that crazy desire that parents get, like, oh, I gotta get my kid in this school. Okay. So the third thing that I look for is the demographics, and whether the type of demographics are people who are workers. I've purchased in cities where it's like retirement communities, and not to like get down on older people or seniors. I mean, that's also that would be another avenue that you could go into, because there's a lot of baby boomers getting older. But I just found that those towns tend to be too sleepy for my style. And you don't want that. Where you want to purchase, you want people to be on the go. You want people to be working. You want money to be flowing in and out. You want people to be, you know, needing a home so that they can get to their job very easily. So you want to look for, is that home in an area where people are not only working, but the commute is fairly easy. So Claremont, we're right on the border of LA County and San Bernardino County. And so this makes it an ideal place for people who need to commute to LA. There may be a family where the husband or wife works locally and then the other spouse works in LA. And it makes it an okay commute. It's not ideal, but it is, it's okay, and it makes it so that they can afford, you know, and be in a nice school district. So those are the things that you want to look for, especially with demographics. Is it a place where there's like families, working families, people who will be able to make money and pay their rent on time, okay? Where there's work available, because I've also made that mistake where I've purchased in a place where, the work was just like going downhill and the jobs were not available. And then the people that were trying to get work, I felt so bad. I have a kind of a compassionate heart. I made that mistake too. I'll tell you guys that story in another video. But he wasn't able to get a job in the area because there were no jobs available. So big mistake again, on my part in terms of buying where I purchased. So you want to look for these things in this house so that it, brings you easier success. Okay. It's always about planning ahead if you want to be successful. The fourth thing that I look for then, as we're zeroing in now even more, like we've zeroed in on the community, now I would zero in on the house specifically. So once you've checked off these other three things, then you can start really looking at homes in that area. And once you get into these homes, you want to specifically look for homes that are pretty starter type, new family, new starter type homes. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, even 4-bedroom, 2-bath are fine if the rooms are smaller. You want it to be a house that has a nice front yard, fenced backyard, because they may have pets. You want to make sure the floors are all hard, either laminate, hardwood, whatever type of flooring you can get, even marble or whatever, something cheaper than marble, hopefully, granite, tile, whatever you can get. For hard floors, because tenants tend to be hard on carpeting and carpeting gets stained. So these are things that I look for when I'm looking to buy, because they're things that are ready to go. The appliances don't need to be crazy, tons of money spent on, these crazy stoves with all these bells and whistles. You just need the stove to work, okay? Washer and dryer, that's very basic and standard. If you're in your area, you have to provide a refrigerator, just a very basic refrigerator, okay? Just make sure that everything is working and that it's very standard, so that you're not spending a ton of money on all these extras to get into the place. I also look for if the place has been, if it's had like a roof redone, if the walls are painted clean, because I want to just come in and be ready to rent. I don't want to have to come in and spend $10,000, to get like painting, carpeting, roof, all that. I don't want to pay all that money. So look for those things in the house where it's pretty much complete. If you're like us, like we don't mind putting in a little bit of work. If you're going to be purchasing the home to live in it and then rent it out, it would be fine for it to have some work to be done. Okay, so that would be the only thing that I would say, is make sure these are things that you can handle, right? Or they're projects that you can afford. Because if you look at that home and you're like, oh my God, it's going to need this and that and all that. Hey, there's Cashew. Hey, buddy. He's being so patient. We're going to go to the park soon. So make sure that you can definitely afford those things. Okay. That would be the only exception to that rule. So I generally look for, is the house pretty much ready to go? Have the bigger projects been, tackled? Because I don't want to do that. It's just going to cost a lot. And I'm not interested in forking over a ton of money. So now to zero it in even more, once you find that house, you think maybe you've narrowed it down to 2 or 3 homes, then of course you want to get into the price of the home. So you want to make sure you purchase in that area that's ideal. That may make the price go up, a little bit. but try to find an affordable home. So you want to look for a starter home in a nice area. And it's gonna really vary. I can't really give you a price to look for. It's all gonna depend on your income. It's gonna depend on your situation, what you can afford to purchase, whether you're buying the home to then rent it out later, or whether you're doing this as a rental right off the bat. But I've made many purchases in different states, and most of those houses in other states, the houses ranged between 150 and 180,000, and here in California, that's really hard to find these days. Usually it's like between 280 to 380, somewhere in there. So it's really hard to find cheaper homes here in California, but you can find deals. It's getting very competitive. It's getting to the point where you're competing with people who have all cash. But don't lose faith. Don't give up. You know, there are many, many deals, you guys, and don't restrict yourselves to just where you live. If you want to really truly get into renting out properties, you can make investments in other states, and you can hire property managers for 3 to 5% commission to manage the property for you. So don't feel like you have to only buy, you know, where you live. Now, if your plan is like ours, we're starting over again with this property, and we're buying this property to work on it and then turn it into a rental. If that's your plan, then make sure you go through those first 4 steps, okay? And then get to the point where you're evaluating price and run your numbers. You guys, make sure, please run your numbers. Please make sure that your real estate agent puts you in touch with, if they don't run numbers, that they put you in touch with somebody who can help you run numbers. If you're not good at that, make sure that you guys look at a calculator. There's many available online that you can look at. I have one. I will definitely post the link to it that I like to use, and it's specifically for if you're going to buy a house to rent out. It will help you see whether you're going to be in the green or in the red. Okay, so definitely make sure that you run numbers and you see if you're going to be able to cash flow, or if you're going to be breaking even, or if you might be a little bit in the red, and consider whether you can afford that. Okay, so that would be the last tip, and I just wanted to share those things with you guys to help you out on your journey too, wherever you are, if you're just getting started with this or whether you've been doing it for a little while. I like to share what I've learned. I've had many rental properties, and I've had successes and failures, and most of them were a success, and it got better with time, and I did my research. And I really talked to, if you're going to buy out of state, make sure to talk to rental property managers in that area, and go sit with them, or sit with them on the phone and ask them, what are the top things that families want in a property before you even buy the property? Ask the rental property manager. They will tell you. I specifically looked for a bonus room with a 2-story that had a bonus room upstairs, because I knew that families there wanted a bonus room, and that property manager gave me that tip. So this is definitely something that you can utilize with property managers in those areas if you're not familiar with the area. But go into it with the mindset of thinking about the things that will help to boost your property, that will make it so that people want to live there, and will increase the value of your property over time. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please, please, please subscribe. You can hit the bell, and if you do that, you're going to get alerts about whenever we put out a new video. We're trying to get a couple videos out each week for you guys to really show you our journey and our progress. I love hearing from you guys. I love getting comments, and definitely let me know where you are in your journey. If you have any questions about anything, we're here to help you guys. And so I'm going to get going so I can get my doggies. Let me show you guys. There's Cashew, and then Sugar. She's over there being so patient. Good girl, Shuggy. So we're going to go now, but I will see you guys soon. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.